What's up, guys? My name is Alex. I'm one of the co-founders of OddsJam, and what we are going to do in this video is talk about profitable betting strategy, positive expected value betting, okay? So we've gone through the arbitrage page. You can see there are a ton of opportunities to make risk-free money on OddsJam right now with the start of college football. Like here, Houston minus 5.5, plus 180 on BetMGM. Texas Tech plus 5.5, minus 165 on Twinspires, which is a sportsbook in Colorado, a bunch of states, Pennsylvania. So you could place a bet on both sides depending on what your bankroll is. And here, lock in a risk-free 2.02% return, which is pretty amazing, right? It's free money in sports betting. But there's a deeper concept. If arbitrage exists in sports betting, one sportsbook has to be wrong, right? One of these bets has to win, one has to lose. Houston minus 5.5 is going to win, or Texas plus 5.5 is going to win. Houston is either going to win by 6 or more points, and Houston minus 5.5 will win. Texas Tech plus 5.5 will lose, or Texas Tech will cover the spread, right? And this bet will win, this bet won't. So when arbitrage exists in sports markets, you have the opportunity to make risk-free money. That means there has to be a profitable betting opportunity. There has to be a profitable betting opportunity if arbitrage exists, right? You can't have an opportunity to make risk-free money and have neither sportsbook's odds be wrong. So this is where the concept of positive expected value comes into play. So we'll look at an example with this Aspinall versus Spivak fight, which I had pulled up here. So again, plus 100 odds over 1.5 rounds on FoxBet, under 1.5 rounds, plus 100 on BookMaker Sportsbook, okay? This OddsJam column essentially shows you a weighted average between Pinnacle and BookMaker, the two sharpest sportsbooks in the world. So if I click on this, what you'll see is that over 1.5 is minus 130 plus 100 on BookMaker, okay? And the over 1.5 is plus 100 on FoxBet. So BookMaker, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, clearly seems to think that this over is more favored than FoxBet does. BookMaker is, again, one of the sharpest sportsbooks, so we can use that to our advantage to figure out if FoxBet is a profitable betting opportunity, right? So we see here, we care about the entire BookMaker market. We care about what they have for the over and what they have for the under. What you then do is you look at them saying, okay, the over is minus 130, the under is plus 100. What are they implying that the over actually should be? If BookMaker did not have VIG, if they did not have, VIG, house edge, juice, whatever you want to call it, what would their price of indifference be? What do they really think Aspinall versus Spivak over 1.5 rounds is? So that's the entire purpose of a no VIG odds calculator. So you can click on calculators, go to no VIG fair odds calculator. You can put in minus 130 plus 100. And this tells you BookMaker would have the over minus 113, which you can see here, the no VIG odds of the market from BM. You need both sides. You need the market. You need what they have on the over, what they have on the under. So minus 130 plus 100 was BookMaker's market. Minus 130 over 1.5 rounds, under 1.5 rounds plus 100. So their no VIG odds, their fair odds, their price of indifference is approximately minus 113. Okay, that means BookMaker, if they didn't charge VIG, if they had no juice, they would give you minus 113 odds on the over and plus 113 odds on the under, which is what we see here, which implies all odds are related to probability. So this no VIG odds implies that the win percentage from BookMaker is saying that the win percentage is 53.06%. The over is going to hit 53.06% of the time. So let's go back to the plus EV page. The over is going to hit 53.06% of the time, according to BookMaker, arguably the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So we'll go here. We see the no VIG win probability is 53.06, and that's from BookMaker's market. So if you think about it, essentially you're taking a market and you're backing out a fair win probability for the bet. So you can think about it this way. If, I say to you, I'll, buy this trading card for $10 or I'll sell it for $12, you probably think that I, truly believe it's worth $11. I'm willing to buy it for $10. I'm willing to sell it for $12. So I probably think this trading card's worth $11. I'm happy to buy it for $10. I'm happy to sell it for $12. That's essentially what we are doing with Bookmaker's market. We are saying Bookmaker is really smart. They're really sharp. They have the over minus 130, the under plus 100. That is their market. What do they actually think that the over should be and the under should be if they weren't charging that spread or that vig? So again, 53.06% was the no vig win probability from Bookmaker just using this no vig fair odds calculator. Okay, so we're getting plus 100 on the over 1.5 rounds on FoxBet. So we're getting over 1.5 rounds plus 100 according to Bookmaker, sharpest sportsbook in the world. This should be roughly 53.06% to win, to hit. So the EV of this bet, the expected profit margin of your bet, is 53.06%, times 100, assuming you have a stake of $100. You're winning $100 profit because you're placing a stake of $100 on this over 1.5 rounds plus 100 odds. 53.06% of the time you win $100. The other 46.94% of the time you lose $100. Sports has variance. You never know what's going to happen in the future. You never know if this is going to have over 1.5 or under 1.5 rounds in advance. Sports is crazy. That's what makes it interesting. That's what makes sports betting exciting. You never know what's going to happen. All we're saying is Bookmaker, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, is implying that this should be 53.06% to win, which means 53.06% of the time we profit $100, and then only 46.94% of the time we lose our $100 stake and our bet loses. So that means that our expected profit on this wager is $6.12. Okay, so for every $100 we bet, our expected profit is $6.12. Of course, this specific bet may lose, it may win. All you're doing with profitable betting strategy, positive expected value betting, is you're looking at very sharp bookmakers like Pinnacle, like Bookmaker, and OddsJam weights those for you. You're looking at these very sharp bookmakers and you're saying, okay, what are the fair odds? If there were no vig, what should the odds should be? And then you're trying to figure out if bets have value. That is the power of the plus EV page. So you can kind of refresh here. Is you're not going to win every bet, but when you get odds that are mathematically in your favor, you have to win in the long run, right? You will win in the long run if you are betting on discrepancies to Pinnacle and Bookmaker, the sharpest two sportsbooks in the world, and getting odds that are profitable to their no vig fair odds. So like this plus 100 is clearly good. So we can go back to the arbitrage page to kind of finish this off, and I'll try to show a simple example of something that maybe, another profitable bet is what you can see is here in the Buccaneers versus Cowboys game, over 48.5 points is minus 139 odds on BetMGM. It's minus 168 on Pinnacle. Pinnacle, sharpest sportsbook in the world, them and Bookmaker. So clearly they think this over should be more than minus 139. So the minus 139 on BetMGM is profitable. So if we had both of these sportsbooks, we could make a risk-free profit. You can enter your stake accordingly. But even if you don't have Pinnacle Sportsbook, the point is Pinnacle is an extremely sharp, extremely efficient sportsbook, right? So they're telling you, one of these books has to be wrong. Bookmaker's wrong or Pinnacle's wrong. In arbitrage, one sportsbook's odds have to be wrong. Pinnacle's the sharpest sportsbook in the world, which means the bet on BetMGM is mathematically profitable. That is essentially the entire concept of plus EV betting. So what a lot of OddsJam users do is they go through the arb page, they look for arbitrage bets to Pinnacle and to Bookmaker, and they place those bets. Here we see over 49 points in the same Bucks game. Pinnacle has minus 160. You can get amazing value, minus 133 on BetMGM. BetMGM or Pinnacle has to be wrong. Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. Place the bet on BetMGM. And you can kind of go through and see a bunch of examples of that. Here, over 56 points, Texas, Louisiana, Lafayette, right? You're getting minus 120 on BetMGM. Pinnacle has it minus 145. So you can kind of click on it and you can take a look at the odds that you are getting. So where was BetMGM? So BetMGM's here. we can see the minus 120 is right here. 10bet has it minus 150. Bookmaker has it minus 123, DraftKings minus 150, and you're just looking for spots with value. When arbitrage exists in sports or any other financial market, one sportsbook has to be wrong, they have to be off, and you're just trying to identify, using the sharper, more efficient sportsbooks, which book is wrong, right? So here we see Virginia Tech +7, minus 125 on Fox Bet. That's an arb to Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. This minus 125 has value. That is a bet that you want to place. So I hope this video was helpful on an example of positive expected value betting. So again, if you want to take a screenshot of this, kind of go through the math a few times in your head, you're taking Bookmaker's Market, one of the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, you're getting the no vig fair odds. And then if you're getting better odds than the no vig fair odds from a sharp sportsbook like Bookmaker or like Pinnacle, that is a mathematically profitable bet. That is worth risking capital on. So in this example, our expected profit was $6.12 per $100 bet, which is what we saw on the plus EV page as long as that line hasn't moved. So you see it here, 6.12. That is your expected profit margin. So again, I hope you found this video helpful. Please reach out with any questions. Please like, share, subscribe if you want to see more content about sharp sports betting as a US or a Canadian sports bet.